Hello there! This is Sage Poo and Michael Smith here. Today, I want to ask you a question. Are you tired of anxiety? And if so, do you want the cure? Do you really want to be free of anxiety? Can you imagine what life would be like if you were free of anxiety? If there was no more? We could eliminate it. If you didn't have the rapid heart rate, or the sweaty palms, or the emotional discomfort of that disease, if that no longer was your lifestyle and you didn't have this looming fear of failure and perpetuating in various aspects of your personal experience, what would your life be like? Really consider it for a moment. If I didn't have that pain, that anxiety, what would life be like? And I'll tell you what it was like for me. Well, I express a little bit of the intensity of my anxiety, because for 21 years I had anxiety whenever my mom was present. And that anxiety would manifest in one of two ways. Either I was too afraid to speak up for myself, or I was too bold and I would tell her everything on my mind, to the point where I'd actually, try to hurt her feelings, And while that isn't possible, because if she didn't have the buttons to press, I couldn't have pressed them, I knew her buttons. And so I tried to press them just as much as she tried to press mine. And, it got to a certain point where the pain of that kind of drama and getting kicked out repetitively or threatened to being kicked out, that happened too often, too frequently, that I had to find a solution. I had to find a way to overcome this. I had to find a way. So I'd heard about this thing called meditation. And so for about 3 days, I practiced sitting still. I didn't meditate yet. I practiced just sitting still because I did some research and said, oh, you got to sit still in order to meditate. So I was like, okay, I'm going to practice sitting still. So I practiced sitting still for 3 days. And on the third day, I was so excited that I actually meditated for the first time. And so I went into my room, I got my little cushion, and I sat there. And I sat there, and I sat there, and I sat there for 45 minutes. The first time, without any instruction. Keep in mind, I didn't have any idea of actually how to meditate. I just knew that people went to a spot where it was quiet and they sat. So that's what I did. And so there was actually this profound sense of clarity that occurred. Peace and clarity, to such a tangible degree that I had nothing to compare it to up until that point. I was just blown away about how amazing this experience was. And then as I get up off my cushion and I start to walk through the house, because me not being familiar with peace, it was kind of boring. So I start walking through the house, and I go to reach into the cupboard for some chips, and I hear my mom talking in the background. And then as my mom was talking, this storm of thoughts started to emerge back into my mind, and all that peace and clarity dried up, just dried up. And I was right back in the situation of where anytime my mom was there, I have anxiety. And so after experiencing this anxiety for most of my life, and then experiencing the difference between this meditation for the first time, I was like, you know what? I wonder if I could use this meditation to solve my own problem. I wonder. And so I never heard of anybody ever doing that before. So, and I never heard of anybody ever meditating without instruction before either. But I was like, I'm willing to give it a shot. Because the drama in the household was just so high and so intense that I was like, if I don't change, nobody in this household is going to change. And I'm the one meditating, so the cards are in my hand. It's up to me to deal the net set. And so I sat down, and with one single meditation, I began with the foundation that I now call the Primal meditation. But I began with that foundation. I modified it in two very specific ways that I call the reflection and the expression of the Primal meditation, of the Primal choice. And I modified it, and during that experience, I was able to have an epiphany. And that epiphany caused me to realize why my mom was doing the things that she was doing, and why I was reacting the way I was reacting. And upon having this epiphany, it was like that sense of peace that I could already tap into with the Primal meditation. It deepened. It was like, whew. And I was just like, whoa. And then upon further analysis of the situation, my thoughts, my memories of all the drama that I've ever been through with my mom, was like, it's gone. the problem that I had about reacting to her is gone. And then with the second modification, I was actually able to embody my ideal self. You know how like sometimes when you get anxious, you're not really your best self. Like you say things you don't really mean, you do things you don't want to do, maybe even adopt some habits that are really just destructive and they're just tearing down your life from the inside out, all because you just got some anxiety in a particular direction, you know? And so that's what my situation was. I'd say some mean stuff to her. I want to be that person. I want to be that kind of person. And so after that single meditation, I knew something was different. Something had changed. I knew that I had found a real solution to this long-term 21-year issue. And so, but at the same time, I'm a practical person. Very practical. You might be able to see from the stuff below this video. And I knew that the real proof was when I see her next time. So when I see you the next time, that's going to be the real judge of the situation. Because if it happens differently, it's because I'm different, you know. And so what happened was I was following her back up into the house, and I was walking up the steps, and then she says something. And at first that something, it reminded me of when it used to press my button. But it was almost like a button being pressed and you hear the click, but it's not making any power going. Click, 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 click. So she tried to press that button. She tried. And I took a step back and just looked at the situation. I was just amazed. I was like, she's acting just like a child. And I was like, and I was acting like a child by entertaining that and reacting and playing that game with her. And so like ever since that day, over 10 years ago, I've never had this issue ever before. But on that day, man, all I could do was laugh at the situation, because no matter how hard she tried to press my buttons, and she tried a few more times that night, I was just like, man, this is funny. This is funny that this is how reality works. That if I change, I can change my circumstances in the situation. And the evolution of that experience from back then, over 10 years ago, to now is that I don't have that issue with my mom anymore. Sometimes she might try to press a button, and I don't even realize that she was trying to press a button. And oftentimes, I'm pretty sure that she don't realize that she was trying to press a button either. You know, and that is the power of presence, knowledge, and understanding of exactly why you have anxiety, and that's when the first time that I ever used this practice in order to overcome my own anxiety. Now, since then, this is over 10 years ago. Since then, I actually thought other people knew how to meditate for a long time, and I was drawn to teaching meditation. I was drawn to it. It was like, oh, meditation, that seems like a good idea to me. Seems useful. But then look online and in all these different places, and there's thousands or hundreds of thousands of different people teaching meditation. I was like, man, I don't want to teach something that everybody else is teaching. You know, it's like that's just me copying somebody else. You know, there's a place for that, but I don't want to do that. I want to create something that's my own kind of thing. Then, lo to behold, what I realized is that most people don't know how to meditate, and that mainstream methods of meditation are actually wrong. It's as if they came from India and to the West, and they taught you level 2 and level 3 algebra and geometry without teaching you basic arithmetic. They didn't teach you level 1. They didn't teach you the foundation that you should have had before starting to enhance your focus and developing your mindfulness. You have to have the right foundation in order to experience a real results. And as real results all go, if you don't experience the signs of progress when you begin the process, then it's most likely that you're going in the wrong direction. You know, same thing with the dreadlock business. If my clients did not see my dreadlocks, or they did not see the first dreadlock I did, if that did not look perfect or exactly what they expected to look like, they could safely assume that the rest of them wouldn't look good either. But in our popular culture, there is this misconception of thinking that when someone says, oh, it just takes more time, or it just takes more practice, or we just need to up the dosage. No. Those are all signs that whoever's teaching you, whatever they're teaching you, don't know what they're doing as clearly as they're trying to convey that they do. And, you know, the big difference between what I'm teaching and what I'm preaching and practicing and instructing on a day-to-day basis is that it works. It works. You can experience the results the very first time. So if you've already tried, not tried, but if you've already done the Primal meditation, because I sent that tutorial to you already, then you'll experience the results. You experience a shift in your consciousness. It's subtle, but beneficial, and it feels good and pleasant if you stick with it through the whole 15 minutes. You'll notice the difference. But it's up to you to give that practice a shot. And when you do, you'll start to be like, all right, maybe the rest of this stuff is what he claims to be too. You know? Because that first practice of the Primal meditation, that's just 1/3 of the core sitting practice that I teach and that I practice on a day-to-day basis, in combination with the living practice that I call the Primal choice, which is the real cure. And guess what? I'm offering this in this webinar. You'll see it below or above or whatever, the Primal webinar, where you can begin to experience this cure, today, this week, whenever the webinar is ready. You can sign up for it. And guess what? For the low price of $97, would that be worth it? Would that be worth the cost of eliminating your anxiety? And would it be worth it if I could promise that I could eliminate that anxiety for you, or help you and show you how to do it for yourself in a simple one session, with a single session, just like I did it for myself 10 years ago? I can show you how to do the same exact thing and experience the relief. Imagine that kind of relief of going through the suffering for having a problem for 21 years, and after a single session it was gone. Imagine how much time and energy and pain and anguish I could have saved myself had I done it 10 years before then, or even a year before then. And think about this and consider this, because I'm offering this webinar. You can attend this webinar for free, and then only if you get the results that I guarantee, do you have to pay anything. And then even still, it's up to you to decide if it's really worth it. When you experience my practice and the stuff that I've described here below, is it worth it? Is it worth freedom if I can guarantee it up front, and you don't have to pay anything unless you get the results that I promise? So the choice is really in your hands. Is it worth it? Would you like to give this a shot for free? At no expense, no cost to you, an opportunity to change your life forever? Oh yeah, and did I mention that this process that I'll be guiding you through, that I call the Primal choice, and the 3 aspects that are right here below or beside this page, that the meditation, the reflection, and the expression, this process, it's a universal process. So I'll take you through the process to eliminate one form of anxiety and guaranteed result. And it's up to you to eliminate the anxiety in every other area of your life. Because if you're like me, you probably don't have anxiety in just one area of your life. You probably have anxiety in a lot of areas of your life. Like for me, 10 years ago, I had anxiety about my mom's situation. I had anxiety about learning how to dance. I had anxiety about talking in public. I had anxiety about videographing myself on my cell phone. I had anxiety about talking to girls through text messages or in person. I had anxiety about starting a business. I had anxiety about getting a job. I had anxiety about getting anxiety all the damn time. But over the course of 10 years, I have used this practice, and I have refined it and distilled it, and I've simplified my understanding so that I can show you directly how to experience the same results for yourself the first time. Because if something works, like the Primal meditation, you'll experience signs, key indicators that it's working the very first time. And one of the qualities that you will experience with the Primal meditation, that first third of this whole practice, is peace and clarity. Tangible peace and clarity. Scroll all the way down this page and you'll see some testimonials of some of the people that have given this a shot thus far, and you can experience the same results for yourself. All you gotta do is give it a chance. All you gotta do is give it a chance, brother or sister. But that's my spiel. I hope you enjoy this practice and sign up. You will not regret it. Of course, no need to worry. You won't be charged unless you get the results that I promise. And that's it for this spiel. My name is Michael Smith, and I will see you later.